Well, if you want to attach a USB outlet to your ice fishing flasher, you came to the right video. Let's get into it. So all these units run on the same thing. They all run on a 12-volt battery. This is a lithium battery, but same concept with a lead acid battery. And I'm going to show you how to hook up a power outlet to it. And the first thing you'll need is one of these. I'll have it linked in the description. It's a USB plug. One end it has a plug like that, and then the other piece is this, which is runs to normal batteries. And I'm going to show you how we're going to rig this so it's going to splice right into your power for your unit. Alright, some tools you're going to need. Some of these female 12-volt disconnects. I got a couple different sizes. I'm going to see what works. Wire cutter, wire stripper, some shrink tubing, and of course a USB outlet. This particular one comes in two. I'll link it below on Amazon. It has a fuse right there, and then it has a plug here which would plug into here. I'm going to cut these off, and so for this part you're going to need a soldering iron and some soldering material. If you don't want to do this, you can just plug those two together, but I don't like how big that is, so I'm going to take this off. So I'm going to cut these two off. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of these plugs. I don't want them there. If you want to keep them, that's fine, but I am just going to splice these two pieces of cable together and get rid of these two plugs. Alright, we'll start by cutting these. So just pull it back, snip it. The other one, snip it, just toss these. Alright, so now we have this, and a trick. So these are both black. How do you know which one's a negative and which one's a positive? I don't know if it's going to be able to show up, but there's these little ridges on this one, and this one's clean. If it has any markings on it, that means it's the positive side. So those little ridges right there you see means it's the positive cable. And this one, obviously, it has red and black cable, which means the red's positive. Alright, so we're just going to take this, pull the wire apart like that. Do the same thing on this guy. Just peel the wire apart like that so we can use it. And we will continue. Alright, so now we just strip the wire. Pull it off like that. Just kind of twist the end a bit so it's nice and clean there. Just like that. Same thing for the positive side of this one. Just make sure that is the positive. Twist it so it looks nice like that. Thing I forgot is a little bit of flux for the soldering part, so forgot to add that to the list, but yeah. Alright, now all you do is you just twist the wires around like that, and then we'll hit it with the solder. And like I always do, I forgot to add the shrink tubing, so cut yourself, maybe 1.5 inches of the stuff, and slide it down one end well past so it's not going to get affected when you solder it. Alright, just put a dab of flux on there. That's just to help the solder run and not clump up. Take your soldering iron, touch those two together, get a bead to form. There we go. Alright, that's that one side. Alright, now all you have to do, after it cools for a second, is just slide the shrink tubing on. Take your little Bic lighter, spark it up, and just run it down that, and that will shrink it up nicely. Don't hit it too long with the lighter, just enough to seal it up. Let that harden for a second, and it will be a nice connection that you can pull on. See, if I just put this together and use the shrink tubing, it wouldn't hold very well, but this solder holds it very strong. Alright, now we can just go ahead and strip the negative sides. Like that. Like that. Twist them. Take your piece of shrink tubing, cut it down, slide it over, slide it way down, twist that a bit. Take these two, twist them together, put a little bit of that little flux on there. That. Perfect. That second attempt at soldering was a little bit better. I'm a little bit rusty. Haven't done it in a while, so the second one definitely looked better. But as you can see, it's all nicely soldered there. Then all we have to do is just slide that over. Get our little Bic and just start shrinking it up. Both sides. Like that. Okay. And those are two good joints. I'm going to let those cool for a second, and then we'll move on to the next step. Alright, now we have these two ends, which don't hook up to a 12-volt flasher battery, and I'll show you how to fix that. Come off my flasher. I'll cut those off and combine both of them into one clip. So all we do, just come in here, clip that one off, clip that one off. So now it's just wire, and we'll strip those down like so. Just a little bit. Just like that. So we got two exposed wires there, and we will put those in with these. So we got these two right here, which clip that one, clip that one, we'll go in, we'll strip that, and we'll strip this. Alright, so we bring these two together. I'll put a little piece of shrink tubing on to hold these two together so they're not just flopping around. Alright, there we go. Take the lighter. Melt those two together so we don't have all the stress on one point. And then we'll take this little guy, take these two, twist them together. Like that. And all we have to do is just slide it into the connector, twist it a few times, and then you take this and you see how there's a red dot there. So we just push that in and crimp it down. And you just want to check your connection, so pull on it, it's not coming free. So that one is all hooked up. Alright, just put a little piece on there, and we'll melt that down. There we go, like that. Then all we have to do is just twist these two together, like so. Stick it in one of these, twist it. Check the connection. Okay, it's all good. All right, now let's test it out. All right, now that we've wired it up, let's test it out. Turn the Humminbird on. She comes on. And now, the other test, USB. See how it works with the phone. Plug this in, like so. Yep, it works. It's charging, so everything works. Wiggle the cables a little bit, make sure nothing clicks off. So if maybe some wiring didn't work out well, we don't want anything to stop working or turn off. Doesn't appear it does, so everything is working properly. And we now have USB power to, we can charge a cell phone, we can run a GoPro. There's a GoPro mount here. I use it to record my screen, and it's really annoying to change batteries, so I'm going to use this to power my GoPro. Alright, so now we want to mount this. It has screw holes in it, so we're going to mount it on the side of this thing right here, probably about there. First we need to take this arm off so we can access. We can mount our plug to it. I think we want to mount it at an angle, mainly so you can, but also so you can plug in easy. So I'm thinking mount it something like that. So basically, all I'm going to do is I'm going to find where those two line up. It's kind of hard to see, but I'm going to find where they line up like that, and I'm just going to pop some pilot holes in there. Alright, so I'm basically going to take this and mark where I want to drill the pilot holes, and then I'm going to drill them. See where those two left a mark, so I'm just going to drill that out. We got those two holes drilled there. Very short screws to attach that. The reason I don't really show this is because it's very hard to do it as well as film, so I'm just going to screw these in real quick. Alright, it is all hooked up. Got the USB outlet there. It's all nice and rigged up. We got our unit, so now we can run a GoPro, record the screen, which works great. Now I have power. I don't have to carry on a power brick. It's all wired to one. And these Dakota Lithiums keep the whole thing powered all day, so this should work great. Well, that's it for our little DIY project. If you have any questions, drop a comment or shoot me a message on Instagram. But other than that, that's it for the video. Hope you enjoyed.